Hello everyone and welcome to Meet Me at the Table. This is Colin and today we have a prototype playthrough of Restless. Barrett and I actually did a playthrough together live. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to see what a two-player co-op version of the game looks like. We're going to be doing a solo version of this game. This is coming to crowdfunding, I believe, around November 11th. When it goes live, I'll put a link in the description below. This is a rules-light adventure game where you're going to be exploring this map, rolling some dice to determine your random events, and then taking on up to 3 bosses in 3 chapters. I don't know how many chapters we're going to do. We're going to do at least 1, maybe 2, maybe even 3. We'll see how we do. I might also die horribly, and then it'll be what it'll be. Do note, this is a prototype, although it's a very nice prototype, but it is a prototype, so your final version of this game might look slightly different. So don't watch this for rules, just watch this for if you're interested in backing the game. So without further ado, let's jump in, let's set up our character, and then start our playthrough. After setting out our map, we need to make sure we have a doom tracker that's down here at the bottom of the board. This is going to determine when the boss shows up. When we get to this area, I'll explain how that works, but each round we're going to roll a die, and this is going to move a certain number of spaces between 0 and 3, pushing us towards our first boss fight. We have 3 sets of ability cards, our heavy abilities on the left side, our quick abilities, and our magic abilities. So heavy, quick, and magic, these are what makes this game so much fun because you'll gain these and you can use them as extra abilities for your characters. The prototype that I have has 4 beginning classes. Not sure if they're going to have more in the Kickstarter, but we'll start with the Verdant. That's one we're going to play as. You can also play as the Gnome, you can play as the Shroomling, or you can play as the Merfolk. Each board has their attributes set up just slightly differently, and there's a different layout of different items that you can hold. I love the boards of these, by the way. They're all inlaid. This looks phenomenal. Legend has it that the first Verdants emerged from the endless woods in the north after a great cosmic shift millennia ago. Your race is still regarded as the embodiment of the forest's strength and wisdom. As a Verdant, you are a member of a strong and wise race with a deep connection to the spiritual. But your size frequently gets in the way of your agility. The knowledge you can acquire over the course of your long life allows you to master more than one profession. You can see here our starting strength and intellect will be a little bit higher and our agility will be a little bit lower. We also have a class card specific to the Verdant. When we roll our dice, if we roll a red, that's 5+, we get to deal a damage, and if we roll a purple between 5 and 6, we deal a damage and we heal 1. We currently start with a basic weapon where we roll 1 red and 1 purple, but as we play the game, we can gain new weapons, and that's one of the main ways you gain new class types. There's all these different class types that we can gain. Each one is dual-sided as well, which is really, really fun. Fun to see all the different options there. We also have some armor here. Armor is going to house tokens that let us manipulate our dice, because as you saw with my Verdant ability, I don't want the highest number roll for my purples. I want them to be between 5 and 6. So a lot of this game is not just rolling the highest numbers, but it's going to be rolling numbers that match your class to trigger abilities, which makes me kind of think of role player adventures, something like that. It is really fun. We now need to set up our hero board. We have our experience up here. It's going to start at 0. You're also going to see it. You can kind of just see it. There's a skull, a single skull. That means all the locations that we can go to right now are single skull locations. We cannot move into the double skull or triple or quadruple skull locations. Those we all unlock as we move up and gain experience. We then have our health track over here. We can have our resources here, and we're actually going to start with 2 gold. I'll explain why in just a second. And then the fun part, our attributes. Each of our attributes will start in a different spot. So you can see our intellect starts at 1, but of course our agility starts at, -1. What we get to do at the beginning of the game is increase 2 of these by 1 and decrease 1 by 1. So let's just keep going with what you would expect. So we'll move up 1 strength, 1 intellect by 1, and our agility is going to be -2. Now I can never decrease my agility to past -3. So if I need to do that, I have to pick a different attribute. You're going to see there's these tokens here that we can potentially gain. If ever this gets to those spots, we can gain them and put them onto our armor. But right now I only have up to 2 spots to put these tokens that can affect our dice rolls. Some of these just give us more dice. Like this one gives us a purple, that one gives us a red. That's why I'm going up the strength one. I'm looking for red dice. Now you might be wondering, why do I get to start with 2 gold? Well, I'm going to start off at the Hammerfall Citadel. And by the way, these meeples are super cute. I would definitely, when you're playing, have them stand up. But for recording purposes, I'm going to have them lay flat. Since we're starting here, we would get 1 gold because each of the different cities has a specific resource that's tied to them. So the Hammerfall, it's gold, but in solo, you get 1 extra resource of whatever city you're starting at. So I actually get 2 gold instead of 1. Finally, we have our character sheet, and yes, this is a paper and pencil game in a way because this is going to track a lot of different things. First, I had to name our character. I've named him Treevy. Seems kind of thematic. We have to write we're the Prophet of Doom. One player always has to be the Prophet of Doom. That's who's going to roll the Doom die each round. Since I'm the only one playing, well, guess what? I'm doing it. We have our exploration map. Every time we move into a new location, we take some damage, but we also gain experience. That's going to push you to go to different locations so that you're able to level up. Down here we have reputations with the 4 different cities. We all start at neutral, but we'll start moving up and down based upon our adventures. Over here we can have unique adventures that we will write down the code and then what we'd earned by completing them. And then finally we have our boss encounters. Remember, our goal is to defeat all 3 bosses. We'll see how far we can go. And then we have notes here. I do also want to call out if after you play a chapter and you want to keep your character so you can come back to it later, they have a wonderful tracking sheet on the back side of the character sheet so you can write down where everything is at. And that's it. This game takes literally 5 minutes to set up. Do you know how amazing that is? Let's go ahead and walk through how a turn works, and we'll just start our playthrough. We start with the impending doom phase, so we'll do that at the beginning of each of our turns. We're going to roll this die. That's going to denote whether we move up that marker 1, 2, 3 spaces, or if we have a unique night phase, which hopefully it'll happen during our playthrough and I can show you. Next, we have the travel phase. You may travel. So since it says may, I believe you can also stay right where you're at. But you may travel either 1, 2, or 3 regions, but you suffer 0, 1, or 2 damage based on how far you move. After that, you have your event phase. Unless you have a specific adventure for that location, you can choose that instead. That's going to be where you roll 2 d10s, add the numbers together. You're going to look at this huge, awesome adventure book and have a specific encounter. Then you can trade, but we're going to ignore trading because I don't have any other characters. And then finally, there's resting. You always get to heal 1, but if you're in a city, you get to heal 3 instead. And then we'll rinse and repeat this. Let's go ahead and start our adventure. Rumors of a spreading corruption whispered through the streets of the once serene Averion. Travelers reported that the peaceful creatures roaming the wild turned into frenzied monsters and that an evil magic is polluting the air. So far, the leaders of Averion cities refute all claims of this new evil, but behind closed doors, they are in frantic search for its cause. In their desperation, they seek out those who have turned their backs on society, restless adventurers braving the dangerous wilderness. Hearing the call, you too venture out into the world, eager to learn and grow stronger, so that you may stand a chance against the impending doom and earn glory and renown. This is where we need to draw our level 1 boss. Now, they have a recommendation of the mysterious woman. That's what we did, Barrett and I. So I chose a different level 1 here. There's this stag. We're not going to read too much about it until we actually encounter him. Treevy, I hope you're ready for an adventure. Let's start off with the impending doom. Okay, I don't know how hard it is to see, but there are 2 small pips there. That means we have to move the impending doom track up 2 spaces. We can then choose where we'd like to travel. Now, we could stay in the city. There are events in the city, but we do want to level up, and moving to new regions will give us new experience. From how I understand it, the cities do not give you experience when you move into them. The regions are specific to the locations on the board, not the cities. So I think I'm going to move 1, which would mean I take no damage for that 1 movement to move into the Valley of Steam. However, that's a new location for me. I unfortunately will have to take 2 damage the first time I explore here, but I do gain 1 experience. I do also want to call out, we couldn't go north to this location because it had 3 skulls. We could only go to 1 skull locations. 2 damage is okay. Remember, at the end of this turn, we will heal by 1. The 1 experience also means we're 1 away from leveling up to level 1, where we will get 2 different things. The first thing is we can increase one of our attributes by 1, and then we can also choose a profession. Now that we've completed the travel phase, we have to roll these 2 dice for the event phase. One is a D100, or it gives you the tens, and the other one gives you the single digits. We're going to roll them up. This one you want to get higher as opposed to lower, which is why 36 isn't great. In the adventure book, they have all these different locations. This book is not a small book. Look at that, but it has the binding. I love that, so you can lay it flat. It's easy to read and fun to read. Let's see what we have for Event 36 for the Valley of Steam. You encounter a hermit living alone among his animals. They tell you that their only friend, a gnome they have known since their childhood, recently got captured by a group of bandits. Unable to confront the bandits alone, the hermit offers to reward you with a special gift should you be able to help them. We're going to gain an adventure right here, VS33. Why would we say no to that? We've placed that code right here in our adventure area. Do note, we can only ever have 3 active adventures. So if I gained 4, I could only hold 3. I'd have to discard 1. This is a game where once we do this, we have to erase it. Now, a lot of them will give you extra rewards or notes. There wasn't any for this one, so we're just going to put VS33. Before we move to the resting phase, I do want to call out one thing about the trading phase I forgot to say. If you're in a city, you may access its shop. Each city has a shop, and so this is how we can buy better items. So we will still have a trading phase, you just can't trade with other characters in solo. Now we'll heal by 1. That wasn't too shabby of a first turn. Let's roll our impending doom die for turn 2. The most common die roll on this doom die is 2, just so you know, although we got 3 that time. The doom tracker does move up very, very quickly. During our travel phase, we could choose to stay here and have that adventure, which I would like to do, but I want to do one thing first, and that is level up. I need 1 more experience, and I'm guaranteed to do that if I go into the Echoing Hills. You can see I can't go to the Burnt Basin, and I can't go, you just can't see it up here, but the Frostbite Peaks, because both of them are 3 or 4 skulls, respectively. So let's go to the Echoing Hills. Going there will cause us to take 1 damage, but we just gained another XP. We'll tick this up by 1, and we have now triggered this ability here. We can gain 1 attribute bonus, and we get a profession, which is what I wanted. I think we're going to continue to move up the strength, because now we have the keyword forceful. Not to mention, we have the keyword spiritual and massive. So we're spiritual, massive, and forceful right now, and certain events can trigger those abilities. When you gain a profession, you get to look at 2 cards and choose 1 to keep. So we can either be a merchant or a hunter. What does Trevi want to be? So as a merchant, you can apply an additional discount of 1 resource in the in shops of all cities. Minimum of 1. That is awesome. The hunter. Whenever you explore a region, roll 1d10 plus your agility, which is negative, on an 8, gain either a bone or a hide. Yeah, I think I'm going to discard hunter. I'm going to keep merchant. The verdant can have multiple professions, so I'm assuming if you can find a different way to gain a profession, we can actually house 2 of them. We'll place this one here. I did almost forget to take my 1 damage as well because I explored a new region. We now get to have an event. Let's roll these up. Ooh, 80. You stumble upon a small caravanserai near the Ashen Waste. The owner shows you a tall, expertly trained camel and offers to sell you the animal. Do you buy the camel for 1 resource or search around the pasture for herbs? I don't want to buy the camel. I mean, I do want the camel really bad, but I am thinking of going and getting a weapon so I can save that gnome. And I actually have that discount. Or do I just get the camel and just, you know what? We're going to get the camel. You leave with the camel by your side. Gain card 207. We now have a camel. I did have to give up 1 gold to do this, though. Increase the distance you may travel in the travel phase by 1 region. During the rest phase of your turn, gain an additional healing. So we'll gain now either 2 healing or 4 healing. So we have Trevi on a camel. Can you imagine that? At the end of our turn, we'll heal up by 1, and now we're ready for the impending doom. We've got to go save that gnome, right? Okay, this one is only increasing it by 1. That is not terrible. Boss time is any time in here it can potentially happen. What I'd like to do is go back to the Valley of Steam, and then here, instead of rolling my event dice, I am going to have my specific adventure. Remember, I only moved one space, so because of that, I take no damage. We have the bandit camp here. Now, I believe there's an error. It says, if you have adventure FS33, choose option 3, but whenever you have an adventure, you have to choose the combat in order to complete it. If you choose any other option, you don't get to complete that adventure. You actually just erase it, and you don't get the extra benefits. So I think we've got to choose one here, attack the guarded camp to free the prisoners, and then we will read the exclamation point after that. That makes the most sense from a thematic standpoint. We're trying to save that gnome. He's prisoner. Okay, it looks like we have 3 enemies here. Oh boy. We have one that rolls a red die, one that rolls a green die, and then one that doesn't roll anything in particular, but we need to defeat him in order to win this encounter. Oh, that's green. Should be a black cube. So each of these only have 1 health, but look at the dice they roll. 3 reds and 3 greens. If they get a 7+ on a red, they deal us 1 damage. 1 to 4 on a green, they deal us a damage. You're going to see this 7+, there's these 2 dice in the background. That means they can place multiple dice on here. Same with the 1 to 4. Some cards, for example, our Verdant actually, we can only trigger our purple once per round. Even if I had 2 purple dice, that would give me a 5 to 6. There's no dice in the background to show you that's a one-time use per combat round. Combat is broken down into 3 phases. We start with the attack roll. We're going to roll our dice and the monster dice. If you were playing cooperatively, you'd have another player roll the monster dice. I'm going to have to roll them separately just so you know which is which. After that, we can use our actions and dice, dealing damage with them, and also using our 1+2 ability where we can add 2 to any die, including ours or the monster dice. Then the monster will activate, and we'll just keep rinse and repeating until either we're defeated or we've defeated the enemies themselves. We'll start with our 2 dice. We rolled a 3 and a 5. Okay, we'll see what we want to do with those. And then for the bandits, this could hurt a little bit. We'll roll all of these dice. Okay, that's a 2, 7, 2, 3, and a 9. Our die roll was actually quite good. We're going to deal 1 damage here, and we're going to increase this die by 2 thanks to our armor's ability, so we can deal another damage, and we heal to full. We're not going to be at full for long, but that's 2 individual sets of damage. With those 2 damage, we'll deal 1 to this bandit and 1 to this bandit. Now you're going to see this means they're going to roll 1 less red die, and because I killed this guy, they're now going to roll 1 less green. So the next round of combat, they'll only roll 2 reds and 1 green. Now they're going to resolve their dice though. They're going to deal us 1 damage with this 3 that's here. And then actually they only have 1 7+, so they just dealt us 2 damage. That's it. That's actually not too shabby. 1, 2. Because neither side was defeated, we'll just rinse and repeat. So we've got a 5 and a 9, and then they're going to have, we'll roll them over here, a 6, a 1, and a 2. So our 5 deals damage. This 1, even if I increase it by 2, it would still deal us damage. So we're going to take 2 damage here, and we're going to deal the final damage to them. We'll be ticked down by 2 health, which hurts. But that final point of damage takes out the last bandit. And now we have a reward. We get to gain 1 of these, which is our gold, and we get 1 more experience. We're on our way towards level 2. Because we were doing Adventure 33, we can read this as well. You help the rescued gnome back to the hermit, who offers to help them recover from their captor. Grateful for your help, the hermit offers you a porcupine, which they raised from birth. We get card 212. Oh no, I think it's going to be another animal, and I can't have a camel and a porcupine. It states here, at the end of each monster action in which you suffered any amount of damage, deal 1 damage. Oh, do we want that or do we want the camel? I just paid money for this camel. But the porcupine seems cool. But you know what? The camel lets us heal. I think I'm going to take the camel. I'm sorry. We at least got the experience and the coins, but I'm going to have to... I can only hold 1. Some characters can actually hold more than 1 animal, but we can't. At the end of our turn, we normally only heal 1, but because we kept that camel, we'll heal an additional 1. All right, let's start our next turn. We'll roll up our impending doom die. We can move up 2 on the impending doom. Now is where I need to talk about how the impending doom works. So now, because of where we are, if we're in this spot right here, and we roll the 3 pips on our next turn, that will mean that's the last turn this round, and then we are going to fight the stag. If we don't, we keep moving up as normal. If we're in this section right here, if we roll a 1 or a 3 on our die, that will be our last turn, and then we fight the boss. And then in these final ones, if we roll a 1, 2, or 3, that will end it. So not likely here. It's still not terribly likely because, like I said, the 2 pips is the most common. This is the most common area where you'll have the boss fight. But you'll always get one more turn before you fight the boss, which is really nice to know that. Speaking of that boss fight, I want to be ready for it. So I'm going to move ourselves to the Hammer Citadel for traveling. I want to be able to buy something, and because of my merchant discount, I can. Now I have to have an event here. Hopefully it's not terrible. We'll roll our 2 event dice, and we have 98. That better be good. That's almost 100. You overheard someone talk about a merchant leaving the Citadel and selling their remaining inventory for cheap. Intrigued, you head over to their shop. You may buy cards from the city's shop or perform upgrades for an additional 2 costs less this turn at a minimum of 1. That is absolutely amazing. Okay, let's go and look at the city. I'd also like you to see how the reputation works. Now, the first thing I totally forgot during setup. When you start in a city, you start with 1 reputation, so I filled that in. If ever we can get to the friendly spot, we then have a -1 cost for everything in that Citadel shop. If we become respected, certain things and events will unlock because of that. Exalted, we get to read an event, and then revered, you can never go down from being revered. You can also, of course, go the other way, and if ever you're at the outlawed, you cannot enter that citadel. So there's 4 different ones. We're at the Hammerfall Citadel. Currently, I have a 3 cost discount on all of the items that are for sale right now. So this would only cost 1, this would cost 1, that would cost 1, this costs 2. I could get this. Wow. This I cannot get because I need to be respected there, and I'm not revered, so I cannot buy this either. There's also items down here where you can trade. You can do a trainer, and your discount applies. Oh, I wonder. Well, we also have, you can upgrade your items, but right now I can't upgrade anything. I don't have anything. I'm thinking of getting 2 things. I'm thinking it'll be quite hilarious if I'm a verdant with an X. So I'm going to grab an X. That's only going to cost me 1 coin. And then I'm going to grab an upgraded armor card as well, which normally would cost me 4, but I get the 2 cost discount because of the event, and the 1 cost because I'm a merchant, so that's 3. So I've just used 2 coins to get 2 pretty awesome pieces of equipment. With my axe now, I'll roll 2 reds and 1 green. I also, with my metal armor here, have 2 additional slots, and I can slot over this if I want, whenever I gain any of my upgrades due to the attributes. So let's say I gained an additional red die, I could place it here, and now I could roll 3 red dice instead of only 2. I also gain a new class card, and I, at any time, until I'm actually in combat. So right before combat, I can change out, and I can flip these around, but once you start combat, you can't change it. So I could be an axe thrower. During the first attack roll, rolled 2 additional green, or I should say red dice, and then from the 3rd combat round onward, transform all your dice to green and double all your damage. Well, it's because, you chucked most of your axes. Or this one, if you're a berserker, at the end of each combat round, gain an additional red for all the following attack rolls. After each attack roll, if you rolled more dice than the monster, deal just an auto damage. So I have that as well as my verdant. So I have both of those, and I can choose which one whenever I move into combat. I'm quite glad I have a weapon and armor before our first boss fight. Okay, this one's moving us up 2. That will not end the round. And of course, by round, I mean chapter, so we're still good. We are guaranteed another turn after this one. One of my favorite parts of this game is exploring, so I think for our turn, we're going to move 1, 2, and we're going to go into the Great Crossing. But because I moved 2 spaces instead of 1, I take a damage. I almost forgot, I was in a city, plus I have my camel. I should have healed to full. Then I'm going to take 1 damage for the travel and 1 for the exploration. That will, though, give me 1 additional experience. We're only 2 away from leveling up to level 2. And you can see here at level 3, we can have another profession. I want another profession. What are we going to find at the Great Crossing? A 76. Crossing the bridge, you spot signs of a recent fight on the far side. The town appears empty except for an injured camel. Oh my gosh, what is it about camels? Its former rider is now nowhere to be found. We have here roll 1d10 and then add your intelligence, which for me is 2 to help the camel. I should know a lot because I already have a camel. We're also not nurturing though. I mean, we are a tree with an axe and armor. And then we'll see what we get. We'll roll up a d10, and we've got a 4 plus 2 is 6. Unfortunately, we've learned our healing from Bernd, so our efforts are fruitless. In an effort to ease the camel of some of its pain, you remove the leather saddle bags. We gain 1 of these hides. Nice, we got a resource. That's good, because if I'd rolled an 8 plus, we'd gain card 207, and we already have it. So we'd have 2 camels and nothing to do with the second one. At the end of our turn, we'll heal by 2, and let's roll our impending doom. If we roll a 1 or a 3, it's going to be the end for us. Nope, that's a 2. We'll move up 2 more on this track, and that will mean we're pretty much guaranteed next time to finish off the first chapter. I personally love exploring new locations, so let's go to the Misty Meadows. Going to the Misty Meadows will cause us to take a damage, but we'll gain yet another XP. Thanks to that camel, this damage isn't terrible. We have no specific adventure here, so we'll just roll our dice. That's a 51. I almost forgot to give us that 1 XP. We're now 1 away from level 2. We have the Ghostly Knights. Ethereal, shimmering figures emerge from the fog before you, their armor gleaming with ghostly light. The fallen warriors, forever locked in a final stand, cannot venture beyond the boundaries of their battlefield. Do you fight to liberate the souls of these warriors, or study the ethereal combat from the sidelines? No, we're definitely going to fight, I think. Is that a good... Yes, it is. We're going to fight them. This is going to be hard, though. We have 2 enemies, each with 2 health. They're going to roll 2 reds. Any 7 pluses is 2 damage, you guys, 2. And then 4 sixes on the purples are 1. After defeating a monster, so there's 2 monsters here, we can heal by 2, but we cannot use our odd results. So if I roll an odd number, it doesn't count. For our combat this time, I do think we're going to do the axe thrower. This way, during the first attack roll, we roll 2 additional red dice. So we'll roll 1, 2, 3, 4 red and 1 green. We'll start with our die roll. Here's our 4 reds and 1 green. And then the Ghostly Knights will roll the 2 red and 3 purple. We actually rolled quite well. This green, useless, but we're going to increase this 8 to a 10. It's an even number. That's going to deal 2 damage. And then the 2 8s that we have here are 6 pluses, so they'll each deal 1 damage. That's enough to actually kill both of them. That means we healed a full. However, we will take 2 damage for this one, and that's a 4, so that's 1. That's 3 total damage for these, but we've dealt 2 damage and then 2 more. Both of them are done. We'll suffer the 3 damage, 1, 2, 3, and then just because I have this camel here, I don't want to forget, I'm going to heal up by 2. You can see so far our health hasn't been a problem. Our reward is we can gain 1 experience, which is going to let us level up. Both the Silver Leaves and the Unbound need warriors' ectoplasm for their rituals. Who do you give it to? The Silver Leaves, we'd gain a reputation, and the Unbound, we'd also gain a reputation. I like the Silver Leaves. We're going to do the Silver Leaves. We're going to get an herb and 1 of those for reputation. We now have 1 reputation with both the Hammerfall Citadel and the Silverleaf Glade. We were able to gain another experience point, and now we're at level 2, so we can go against or go into locations with 2 skulls. We also gain another attribute point. I want to move here. We're 1 away from gaining another +2 ability, and we can now draw 3 cards from one of the ability decks, and we can use it for the rest of the game. Each of the colored ability cards generally impact that specific colored die. So since I roll the most red, I'm going to choose this one. I'm going to grab 3 of them and pick 1 to keep. We have Overpower. This ability can only be activated if you have more results of 6+ than the monster. Interesting. It deals 2 damage, but you need to use a 3/4 for that. Last Resort, you need a 1 or a 2. We're not rolling purples anymore. It deals a damage, and if you're missing 4+ health, deal a damage and +2 instead. This one's I'm not really thinking of. These are the 2 that I'm thinking of. This one deals 1 damage with a 3/4, and then at the start of your next player action, at the start of it, you can deal 3 damage. I think I'm going to do the Titan's Downfall. That just seems awesome. Oh, but I do have to call out, this will mean we take a damage, but I'm okay with that. So you can see it. That symbol means we take a damage, and that means we deal a damage to the enemy. I'm okay with that because we have the camel, right? Over the course of the game, we'll gain more ability cards, but you can only ever have 2 active. Just like with the classes, though, you can change them out right before combat. The only thing is once you have them for combat, you cannot change them in the middle of your combat. We only have 1, so we're just going to keep that Titan's Downfall active. This will very likely be our last turn. Let's see, yes, we rolled a 2 on the Doom die. That means this is the last turn. We don't move up the impending Doom. We're going to fight the boss at the end of this turn. That's because we can see it down here. We have the 2-pip Doom symbol, and since that's what we rolled, we don't move this anymore, and instead we have our final turn before we take on the stag. And I think it's safe to say we want to go to this Seaborn's Reach. Now, this will not gain us experience, but we could potentially use that hide, and the other big thing is we should be able to heal by 4, so we're at full health when we're fighting the boss. Let's see what we find at the city. We have 20. Ooh, that doesn't sound good. The owner of the tavern you're staying at introduces you to a shroomling in need of a messenger. That's Barrett, by the way. They explain that they have an urgent letter for a fellow healer in the Valley of Steam. Yeah, don't use my techniques because I kill people instead. Seeing as you are a traveler, they were wondering if you would help in the matter. Do you accept their mission and immediately leave? 2, take the letter and the payment, but do not deliver it. Or 3, mingle with the other travelers and listen to their tales instead. Now, you gotta accept this, right? Come on, I gotta help Barrett out. If you accept, place your figure sideways in the Valley of Steam. You may not move until the end of your next travel phase. I gotta remember that. Roll 6 d10s. If you have a mount, only roll 2 d10s. I have a mount. I have 2 d10s. On every 5 or lower, suffer damage. If you reach the valley alive, gain a resource and 2 reputation. Whoa, that's definitely what I want to do. I've placed Trevi sideways here to remind ourselves after the boss fight, and I do think we're going to do at least one more chapter. This has been too much fun. So we're going to do one more chapter after this. We know we have to stay here for our next turn. We have to roll 2 d10s here. For every 5 or lower we take a damage, while we take 2 damage. The nice thing is, because of the camel, I'm going to leave my health where it's at because we'll heal by 2 at the end of the turn. Because we did this for Bernd, our shroomling, we do gain 1 of any resource. I'm going to gain another hide. So now I have 2 hides and 1 herb. And we gain 2 reputation with the Silverleaf Glade. And that means we get a -1 discount in the Glade's shop. So you know I'm going to be going there during Chapter 2 to see if I can get something good. We now have the opportunity of taking down the stag. This is going to be fun. Messengers are swarming in the land in search of brave adventurers hungry for glory, calling you to Hammerfall Camp near the Great Crossing. Jarl Frostbeard briefs you on a terrifying monster corrupted by a strange power that has been spotted nearby and asks for your help fighting it off. There is no time to waste, as the lives of many are at stake. All players heal 5 and place their figure at the Great Crossing, even if they're in hospice. So hospice happens if your health goes to 0. So I think that overrides what I had to do before, so I'm going to put myself in the Great Crossing. As you enter the forest, you spot a large stag on a clearing ahead. Its giant antlers spread like the branches of an old tree, and its dense coat shimmers in the light. Drawing closer, you notice something wrong about the creature. Its breathing is ragged. Patches of dried blood stick to its fur, and an evil glow shines from its eyes. Noticing your presence, the stag lowers its head, stomps its hooves on the ground, and then charges at you with frightening speed. Here we have the backside of the boss's board. We can see here the stag has 8 total health. Now there are 3 different ways it attacks, and each round it's going to use a different one. It's going to start at 1, then go to 2, then to 3, and it keeps going back and forth. It also will have different dice sets, so that for this first roll it's going to be rolling 3 green dice. After each attack roll, lower the highest player and the highest monster die result by 3, because it's trying to get to a 1 to a 5. That's gross. We also have players that are not skilled suffer 1 damage before the combat even begins. So I'm going to take 1 damage. I'm down to 6 health. I'm actually going to use this to track our health, just so you can see it while we're rolling dice, so I don't have to keep going to the board. I do think, once again, I am going to be an axe thrower. I want to deal as much damage as I can. And don't forget, we have our Titan's Downfall as well. So we'll be rolling 4 red dice and 1 green for the first attack. We'll roll up our 4 dice, and our highest numbered die is a 9, so it has to be reduced by 3. That will mean it's down to a 6. So we've got a 6, 7, 9, 2, and 7. For the stag will roll his 3 dice. His highest is this 10, so it's going to go down to a 7. 7, 7, and an 8. We were lucky enough to roll 3 dice, all that deal 1 damage, and then I'm going to take this 2 and increase it to a 4, because remember, I can impact 1 die by a +2. With that 4, we most certainly are going to trigger our Titan's downfall. At the start of your next turn, it's going to deal 3 damage, but we do take 1 damage, so we're down to 5 health. We did, though, deal 3 damage to the stag. The stag only has 5 health remaining. We also only have 5 health remaining. Then, lucky for us, they rolled a 7. That's a miss because they needed a 1 to a 5. A 7, that needed to be a 1 to a 5. And an 8, so they totally 100% missed us. That won't last for long, though. We're going to move this over to round 2. We're going to deal the 3 damage. 1, 2, 3. The stag is down to 2 health. This one says, the monster does not attack. For each result a player does not use by the end of their player action, they suffer a damage. So we want to use all of our dice. Well, now we're only rolling 2 reds and 1 green, and this is the 2nd combat round. Our 3rd combat round, we'd only roll greens. Hopefully we can use all of these. Well, we got a 3, a 9, and a 1. If we look here, our 9 deals 1 damage and our 1 deals 1 damage. That's the 2 that we need to defeat the stag. We can't use the 3, so we take a damage. That's right, we can handle that. The stag doesn't attack, so we just defeated the first boss. Let's mark that off on our boss encounters right here. On your victorious return, you are greeted by the cheers of the assembled camp. After a long evening of celebrating your achievement, a steward of Jarl Frostbeard shows you to a large tent to rest. They tell you to meet with Jarl once you've recovered from the fight. This marks the end of the first chapter. All players fully restore their health, even if it was reduced to 0. We've checked off the boss on their player sheets to mark their victory. Then they gain 2 reputation with the city of their choice and 2 experience. We also gain 1 resource. Let's gain another hide, shall we? I've got 3 hides then. 2 more checkoffs on the silver leaf means we're 1 away from being respected. I want to be respected! And we're now halfway to level 3. Because we're going to move right on to chapter 3, we'll read a growing threat. Jarl Frostbeard is already waiting for you in the commander's tent, awaiting your report of the battle. What you fought appears to only have been a first taste of our enemy's true power. While you were out, the first of our scouts returned with new information. There have been sightings of a powerful sorceress all over Averion. Wherever she appears, corrupted monsters soon follow. You must contain these monsters and keep the rumors of danger from spreading while we keep searching for more information on our true enemy. Until we know who we are dealing with, the citizens of Averion are better kept in the dark about the danger. Okay, we'll reset the danger track and draw a random boss 2. We're going to fight the Eagles. That's the boss 2 I grabbed this time. I've never played chapter 2 or 3, so I'm kind of excited because I've only gotten to chapter 1. We then can start our turn by rolling that Doom die. We'll give our Doom die a roll, and we're increasing Doom only by 1. That is not bad at all. I don't know about you all, but I'm super excited to see a 2-skull location because we can go to one. So I'm going to take a damage to move into the Salt Wind Shores. I'm also going to gain an XP for doing that. But if we look here, we also deal ourselves another damage. So we're going to take 2 damage to search that location. Worth it though, if it means we can level up. I am most certainly a sucker for games where you can level up. We'll roll our event dice and we have 78. You meet a group of seasoned fishermen sharing tales outside of a smokehouse. One talks of a massive, heavily armed crab that roams the shores. Advance the Doom tracker by 1 spot. Oh boy, okay, well, it's like we rolled a 2 now instead of a 1. In addition to the cautionary tale, the fishermen share their knowledge of the coast and recommend several beautiful locations you should visit. You may either travel to the tidal pools in search for valuable herbs and gold by immediately reading event SS81, or try your luck finding pearls at the coral reef by immediately reading event SS91. I like the idea of going for gold and herbs. Well, I only have 1 herb. Let's do it. We're still going to do it. Let's go to SS81. The tide recedes to reveal herbs growing around the exposed tidal pools. You think that you spot something gleaming from below the water's shimmering surface of one of the pools. Gain either. Now, we get to roll on one of these two tables. See, this is awesome. I get to show you more stuff. There's a mining table and there's a gather table. We can choose either one. Gathering's likely going to get us the herbs. Mining's going to give us the gold, and we add +5 to our roll. I'm going to definitely do gold because if I get enough gold, I can level up my axe or my metal armor. We'll roll up our d10. We have a 7 plus 5 is 13. This is the first time I'm rolling on the mining chart, and I forgot. When rolling on the mining table, roll 1d10 plus your event bonus, which was 5. If you are skilled, I am not skilled, I am forceful. Skilled would be agility. I don't have agility. Or a miner by profession. I'm not. I'm a merchant. Increase the event bonus by +2. You may overwork yourself. All dice rolled during this event can be increased by +1, +2, +3 by suffering 1, 3, or 6 damage. Well, I definitely can. I think I should have done that. I'm going to say I would have done for 1 damage. So I'm going to take another damage to be able to increase it by 1. That means I actually get to read number 13 because 7 plus 5 was only 12, but now I've got a +1 for 13. Yeah, my math. After your first strike, part of the rock face chips off, laying open a rich vein. Roll 1d10. Roll an additional d10 per 3 points of your strength. My strength is 5, so that means I can roll 2d10 for this. I wish it was 3d10. I will gain 1 gold per 3 total points. This could be amazing. We'll roll up our 2d10s. We've got an 8 and a 2. That's 10. So 3, 6, 9. That gives us 3 gold. At the end of our turn, we will heal by 2 thanks to that camel. Okay, we're going to start our next turn. I'm going to start heading over to the Seaborn Reaches City. I want to upgrade. Okay, 2 Doom. We can take that. No problem. We'll move ourselves 1 space to the Seaborn Reach for no issues. And let's roll our event dice. We have 91. At 91, it asks if we're friendly with the Seaborn Reach, and unfortunately, we're not. I was thinking of the Silverleaf Glade, and I went to the wrong one. Oh well, so we're not. The Seaborn Elite are hosting a grand gala over their recent conquests in distant lands. While the main festivities are reserved for the esteemed elites of the city, the council has also organized a large banquet for the masses. The food and drinks showcased the size and variety of the Seaborn's territories. Gain a reputation. During all attack rolls of your next combat, gain an extra die. Choose its color now and place it on your weapon as a reminder. Well, you know what we're doing. We're doing a red die for sure. So I'll place that on my weapon so I don't forget. That was just silly of me. That was Seaborn Reach, of course. I really wanted to go to the Silverleaf Glade. I'll get there. At the Seaborn Reach, I do think I'm going to spend 1 hide. Normally I'd have to spend 2, but because I'm a merchant, I can do a cost of 1 less for everything here. So I'm going to spend 1 hide so that I can gain another profession, since I can hold 2. Our 2 options for our professions are Explorer or Fighter. Place a green cube here if you experience an event with the number 70 plus, and then place a black cube here for an event of 30 or lower. Whenever you have both, you gain 1 resource of any type and 1 experience and remove both cubes. Oh, that is cool. The Fighter, after winning a combat, gain reputation with a city of your choice. That is also cool. But you know what? I like exploring. I like exploring. Let's do the Explorer, shall we? Each of the different character sheets have something unique here. For example, for the merfolk, you can see they can have 3 trinkets. For us, we can have 2 of these professions. So now we have an explorer and we're a merchant. Now it's time to go to the Silverleaf Glade, followed by the Blighted Woods. Oh, I need to remind you that I'm healed up to full because I'm in a city. Let's roll our impending doom. I still haven't gotten a night. I want to show you a night effect, but that's 2 more doom. Time flies in this game. We are going to take that 1 damage so we can move over to the Silverleaf Glade. We'll roll our 2 event dice and we have 31. So that is unfortunately not under 30 and it's not above 70. So for Explorer, it does nothing. You find a large tree in the middle of the settlement covered by various notes and requests and search for a fitting quest. Oh yes, roll a d10 and we're at level 2 to 3. So it's going to be over here. I love me some quests. Okay, we've got a 4. The birds are growing ever crazier around our village. Gratitude to whoever can get rid of them. Gain adventure BW20. It's a reward for 1 experience and a reputation. I will take that. I am unfortunately failing over and over again, you guys. I wanted to be able to convert into one more of the wild resources to get a gold. That would get me 4 gold, and it would be enough for me to upgrade my axe. But I need 3 resources to convert into 1 herb, and that's 3 of any type, or 2 herbs for 1 of any kind. I only have 1 herb, and I have 2 of these hides, so that's not going to work. I am going to continue to explore then, instead of doing that, hoping I can upgrade my axe soon. That just has a cost here. It's dependent upon your weapon. I needed 6 gold, but I do have a discount here at the Silver Leaf because they are friendly, so it's only 5 gold, and I have the merchant ability, so it's only 4 gold. So I just need 1 more gold to be able to upgrade. I could upgrade my armor, but that doesn't seem helpful because it doesn't do anything for me other than house more tokens, and I don't have any tokens yet. I'm almost at the point where I could get a random 11 card, though. I need a total of 10 resources. Minus 2 is 8. I've got 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6. I only need 2 more for that. That sounds appealing, too. I could get different weapons or different armor, but I kind of like what I have. It's working for me, and I cannot get this one because I'm not respected yet. I'm 1 away. If I do this quest in the Blighted Woods, I will become respected, and I can come back and do this. Because of that, I think I am going to go to the Blighted Woods. Oh, that's going to move up our doom by 3. That is not good at all. Moving into the Blighted Woods will give me another experience, though. It will cost me 2 health, but I definitely think that's worth it. At level 3 now, I gain another attribute bonus. Definitely going strength 1 more time at 6, and now I can increase 2 different dice, or even the same die, by +2 twice. I also will gain another profession. We have both the Alchemist and Treasure Hunter. Oh my gosh, the Explorer and Treasure Hunter just makes me want to do that because I sound like Indiana Jones, but I don't think I'm gonna. We have our Alchemist. Whenever you reach a new level, you may transform any 2 other resources into gold once. Oh, I want gold, but that's going to take too long. And then this one, whenever you roll on the treasure table, increase the event bonus by +3 and gain an additional resource. I'm not going to keep either of those. I like the 2 that I have. We will suffer our 2 damage for going into the Blighted Woods, and now we're going to deal with that, those birds, I guess. You are attacked by 2 aggressive rocks swooping down from high in the trees. Oh, yes. Do you see this reward? One of the crocs holds something shimmery. You gain 2 gold and an experience. We'll start off our turn by rolling our dice. Does not look like a great roll, honestly. And then the birds will also roll up their dice. Now, do I see any 1s? I don't. That's good because 1s deal us 2 damage. It looks like right here they're dealing us 1, 2, 3 total damage with 2 4s and a 3. I could block one of those if I'd like. Right now, with the dice we rolled, we've dealt 2 damage here and 1 more here, that's 3. Now don't forget, I got 3 extra dice, 2 because of my axe thrower and 1 because of that event that happened last time. So that's how I rolled so much red. Our next round, we're just going to roll 2 red and 1 green, and then if we have to continue going, it's just going to be all green. But 3 damage should be enough. I am not going to impact any of my dice, and instead, I'm going to increase this 4 to a 6, and this 4 to a 6, so that way they can only deal us damage with this 3. That's because 1s will deal 2 damage and 2s to 4s will deal 1 damage. We'll take that 1 hit here. Alright, our next round of combat, I'm only going to roll 3 dice now instead of 6. Ouch. I totally forgot to show you which one I'm taking out. Definitely this one, so they'll roll 1 less green die. We'll roll up our measly 3 dice. We've got a 7, an 8, and a 4. And then this time I can roll all their dice in the same one. Okay, right now they're dealing us, we've got to increase that. So for our ability, we're going to increase this one by 2 to make it a 3, because that would have dealt us 2 damage. So right now they're dealing us 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts us down to 1 health. We're dealing with this 7, 1 damage. I can turn this into 2 damage. Or do I... You know what? I think I'm just going to do the 7. So we're going to deal 1 damage. These 2 are going to miss. Then we're going to increase these 2 dice to being above 4s. So they only deal us 2 and we deal them 1. This has become a fun fight. I like it. You can definitely see the level 2 enemies are a little bit harder. So 2 damage to us, 1 to them. All right, next round. For our third round in combat on, we're only rolling greens. We need 1s to 3s. They deal extra damage at least. Oh, we've got a 2 and a 3, so we definitely have enough. So now they're going to roll 5. They're going to roll 5. We can only take at max 2 damage here. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So we'll increase both of these. So we only take 1 damage, and we take him out. Oh, that was awesome. 1 damage to us means we only have 2 health remaining. We do, though, gain 2 gold and 1 more experience. Heck yes, we can now level up our axe right before the next boss fight. Oh, and don't forget, this was our specific adventure, which also gave us 1 XP and 1 of the reputation for the Silverleaf Glade. This will mean now we're considered respected. Oh, yes, we can get better items there. And I'm going to erase this adventure. Thank goodness we have our camel. We can heal by 2 at the end of our turn. And now I likely have only 1 or 2 turns left before we fight the eagles. We'll roll up our impending doom die, and we have a 1. This will be our last turn. We just didn't want it to be a 1 or a 3, and we got a 1. That means we're going to slide ourselves back to the Silverleaf Glade. I need to heal up to be ready for this boss fight. We'll roll our 2 event dice, and we have an 89. You know what that means? We can place a green cube. Green cube is going to go onto our Explorer hat. Now we just need a black cube for experience and a free resource. Are you at least friendly with the Silverleaf Glade? Yes. And I'm spiritual, actually. Am I? Yeah, I am inherently spiritual. The Silverleafs invite you to participate in the ritual of the Timeless Tree, a ritual in which the nuts of the oldest tree in the glade are brewed into a rejuvenating potion by their druids, which is shared by the participants. I'm so glad I didn't read that during the live stream. We would have laughed hilariously. You may lower up to 2 of your attributes by 1 to gain the same amount of just general attribute increases. If you are spiritual, you may lower up to 1/3 of your attributes instead. So you can do that 3 times to increase another one by 3. I want to do that. We're going to decrease agility by 1 and fortune by 2 to be able to increase our strength by 2, 1, 2, and our intellect by 1. Now we also have an additional red die when we attack. Oh my goodness, right before the boss fight. We're also going to spend the 4 gold out of the 6 that we need because we've got the 2 discounts. 1, we're friendly, and 2, we have the discount because we're a merchant to flip this over, and now we have 3 reds. So now we're going to be rolling 4 reds, and if we're on the axe thrower, it's 6 reds and a green. Then I am going to turn these 2 hides instead of 3 hides because discounts apply. 2 hides. Oh, maybe we can just do 1 hide. Discounts apply. Apply an additional discount of 1 on all shops of all cities. I think I can. I might have missed that. So I can spend 1 of these to turn it into 1 of these herbs. And I'm going to spend these 2 herbs so that we could get card 10. And you know what? We only need to spend 1 herb. I want this card 10 because we are considered respected now. We're now considered nurturing, so we have that keyword. At the start of combat, place a cube here for the remaining combat. You may discard it at any time to gain a health. And we can upgrade that. What's on the upgraded side? It looks like you just get to place 2 cubes. Still awesome. I like the healing. We only have 2 resources left. We will heal by 4, so we're up to full. And we're now going to meet the eagles. Once again, messengers seek you out, calling for your help against a terrifying monster twisted by the corruption. As you arrive at the Great Crossing, you find the camp built up into a small town from which scouts, soldiers, craftsmen, and doctors from all realms coordinate their efforts against the threat. You soon meet Jarl Frostbeard, this Jarl guy, who tells you of an even more sinister corrupted being which has befallen the realms. We'd heal, we place ourselves back in the Great Crossing again, so it looks like all of them are going to be in the Great Crossing, at least so far. As you traverse the steep paths of the Frostbite Peaks, a large shadow blots out the sun above you. Looking up, you spot a circling flock of regal eagles. Their eyes are ablaze with a deadly glow, and their beaks still shimmer red from their last hunt. Swooping down from the icy skies, they unleash fury with razor-sharp claws. Oh boy. We have here, 3 eagles, each with 4 health. Each of the 3 health pools represent an eagle. This one says at the end of each player action, the player suffers health per eagle with an even amount of health left. They all start at 4, so that's wanting you to deal damage to 3 of them each a little bit instead of just killing one. But if we kill this one, it's 1 less red die. Kill this one, it's another 1 less red die. And kill that one, it's 1 less green die. This one here states at the end of each player action, the player suffers 1 per eagle with an odd number. And then the third one, after each attack roll, increase all monster results by 1 per remaining eagle. They want to get to a 10 for 3 damage, 7 to a 9, red or green is 1, and then 1 to 3 green is 2 damage. Let's do this. I am at full health. That means I have a total of 8 health and a tiny healing potion. I'll place this marker there to denote it. I do think once again, I have a hard time with not taking that, with multiple enemies. If I went to the Berserker side, at the end of each combat round, gain an additional red die. This is going to be multiple combat rounds, so why don't I do this one? After each attack roll, if you rolled more dice than the monster's going to be rolling 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we're going to roll more than they are. Definitely want this one, because we're going to be rolling 1, 2, 3 reds and 1 green. That's for our upgraded weapon, but then we get an extra red because of the token that's on our metal armor. The Eagles will be rolling 3 reds and 1 green. We'll start off combat by rolling our 4 dice. We've got a 10. That's awesome. We got 2 10s. The Eagles, on the other hand, will roll up. They've got a 9, 7, 1, and 4. With this awesome roll, we'll be able to deal 2 damage here. Now, I'd love to deal another 2 damage, but that does not have the dice behind it, so it's just a flat 2. So this will be 3 damage. This is going to be useless. That's 7. I'm going to increase this 2 to a 4, I think. And if we do that, we will deal ourselves a damage, going down by 1, but we can deal 3 damage at the beginning of our next turn. So we're dealing 3 damage this time. I'll deal 2 damage to this eagle and 1 damage to this one. Now, at the end of each player action, the player suffers a damage per eagle with an even amount of health left, where there are 2 of them. So I'm going to take 2 damage for that. I only have 1, 2, 3, 4. I only have 5 health remaining. Holy moly. Now, I can increase a die by, let's see, increasing the die by +2 does not help me with them. Instead, this 7 and 9 are each going to deal us another damage. So we're down to 3 health. Oh, I love this game. All right, we're going to move this over here. Now we get an additional red die. Not to mention, we can just deal a straight 3 damage, 1, 2, 3, because of our Titan's downfall. So we're going to roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reds and 1 green. Oh, and before anything else, we're going to use up this cube and we're going to heal by 1. So we're back up to 4 health. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. All right, we've got our red dice. Let's roll them. Do we get any 10s? No 10s this time. We'll also roll 4 green dice for the Eagles. Oh, a couple low ones. 2, 3, 3, and an 8. We're able to increase 2 dice by +2. I want to increase this one to a 4 and this one to a 5 or a 6. Yeah, 5. Because that way we will not take the 2 damage. We're looking at taking 3 damage here, which puts us down to 1 health. With our dice roll, we're able to deal 1, 2, 3 total damage. We'll deal 1 damage to this eagle, so it's gone. And we're going to deal 1 damage here. That makes that even. That's 2 damage. I have 1 more. If I deal 1 more damage to one of these, it's going to deal me a damage for being odd. Plus, I'm going to be taking 3 more damage. That's 4. That would kill me. I don't know if I can, but I think I'm able to not deal all the damage that I want. I don't have to place dice there, so I'm going to leave it like this. 2 health and 2 health respectively. That way, we'll take 2 plus 1, which is 3, but we're not dead yet. That only puts us down to, 1 health. Because we are a berserker, we get to add yet another red die. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6 red dice and 1 green. We just need 1, 2, 3, 4 damage here. I've got 1, 2. I've got enough damage right there. This is probably an 8. There we go. But that's 4 damage I am dealing. Let's see. They roll 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't even know if it matters because I think if we go out and they go out, it's okay. Let's roll these 5 because I haven't gotten rid of any red dice. That would deal us 3 damage, so we're dead. Technically, we both would get killed, but I think we do still get to take them out. With the monsters defeated, you make your way to Hammerfall Citadel, where Jarl Frostbeard has had chambers prepared for you. A steward approaches to let you know that the Jarl has requested your presence once you are fully recovered. This marks the end of Chapter 2, and I think we're going to call it here. Well, there you have it, my friends. That was a 2-chapter playthrough of Restless. Oh, that's fun. One of the big things that I didn't do a ton of is gaining these cards. There's so many of them. But it's a game that's based upon a random event dice system, so there's going to be times where you don't see stuff like that, and that's fine. There's tons of items, tons of different quests you can go on. The writing, I feel like, is quite solid in here, and just the sheer amount of stories. Each of these locations having 100 different, technically not 100, because some of them you have multiple numbers that you can roll, but let's say between 70 to 80 different stories in all these different locations. Not to mention, there's tons of other bosses. I don't want to spoil it too much, so I'm just going to show you here, and I have a feeling that more will unlock during the crowdfunding campaign. The game is so easy to set up and play, right? It'll take you literally 5 minutes to set it down, have an adventure. You have to be okay with the randomness of your events, but I really love the dice placement puzzles for your different classes. I want to explore more weapons and more armor and see more of the unique items, and you're going to see that as you go through the different chapters. I like how you gain experience by moving around, but you take damage for that difference, and the reputation tracks so the different cities can feel different for you and you can gain different benefits. I think all of that is cool. The player board is also awesome. So dang cool. This game to me just screams solo player. So if you're a solo player, this is definitely for you. If you play most of the time with other players, it can still be a lot of fun having other people read the stories. If you want to see what that's like, Barrett and I did a playthrough, so check that out. But I do want to call out there's a very minimal cooperation. You can trade some resources, maybe trade some items, but even with the boss fight, you each individually fight the boss. So I do a round, then you do a round. There's not real ways that you can impact one another and help one another. And I assume that's for balancing purposes. I would like this game less as a cooperative game and more as a solo experience. Now, from what I understand, there's also going to be a competitive variant, and this would work quite well then for a competitive variant, where you're just trying to score more points at the end of the game, because there's a way you can score points based upon your experience and what items you have. But overall, from what I've played in my 10 plus years of doing board game content, this is one of the better adventure systems, especially for solo mode, because it plays quick. You're not spending hours upon hours trying to figure out rules. It's right here on your board. It makes total sense. They've got, the information about the regions and the abbreviations for the book, so it's easy to find. It shows you, here's the end game renown, how you track or count your renown if you want to score yourselves at the end of the game. But it's also just fun to explore the world. I'm really enjoying the world. I like the different characters and everything. Yeah, it's good. This is a lot of fun. Hopefully, Trivia and I helped you determine if this game is for you. I want to give a huge shout out to our patrons and subscribers. It's because of you that Barrett and I do what we do on this channel. And if you're excited to see what Barrett and I have coming next, then I need you to meet me at the table. Goodbye, everyone.